ku teguh, hati ikhlasku penuh akan karuniamu. Tanah air pusaka Indonesia merdeka, syukur aku sembahkan kehadiratmu Tuhan. Dari yakinku teguh, hati ikhlasku penuh akan asas rukunmu. Pandu bangsa yang nyata, Indonesia merdeka, syukur aku hanjurkan kehadapanmu Tuhan. Tanah air pusaka Indonesia merdeka. Syukur aku sembahkan kehadiratmu Tuhan.
Kediri University is a private university located in Kediri, East Java, Indonesia. It is located in the west of Kediri, near with Selamanglang Cave and Airlangga Museum. The location is also near with Maskumambang Hills, makes the Kediri University be a comfortable place for studying and learning. Kediri University has big contribution of Kediri development. It's said by Sudanjo Supriyadi Wali Songo Kediri Foundation since 1980. Kediri University has passed many bachelor to fulfill the society needs in Kediri especially and in Indonesia commonly. The graduates of Kediri University have gotten a job in many cities and countries all over the world. Creating the combatant, superior, characterless to be able to combat internationally in 2026 is the vision of Kediri University. It is also supported by all faculties in Kediri University. Kediri University has academic, profession, and vocational education, namely Law Faculty, Social and Politics Faculty, Agriculture Faculty, Economics Faculty, Engineering Faculty, Health Science Faculty. student-centered learning, Kadiri University supported by good quality of lecturer to get a good cognitive, effective, and psychomotoric graduation to be able to compete in globalization era. Kadiri University has academic and non-academic facilities such as library, computer center, language center, ASEAN Studies Center, sports stadium, investigation gallery, mini hospital, and job placement center to make the student easier to get the job.
Mari bergabung bersama kami di Universitas Kadiri.
Kadiri University is a private university located in Kediri, East Java, Indonesia. It is located in the west of Kediri, near with Stella Manglang Cave and Air Langga Museum. The location is also near with Masku Mambang Hills, makes the Kadiri University be a comfortable place for studying and learning. Kadiri University has big contribution of Kediri development. It's said by Sudanjo Supriyadi Wali Songo Kediri Foundation since 1980. Kadiri University has passed many bachelor to fulfill the society needs in Kediri especially and in Indonesia commonly. The graduates of Kadiri University have gotten a job in many cities and countries all over the world. Creating the combatant, superior, characterless to be able to compete internationally in 2026 is the vision of Kadiri University. It is also supported by all faculties in Kadiri University. Kadiri University has academic, profession, and vocational education, namely Law Faculty, Kadiri University is a private university located in Kediri, East Java, Indonesia. It is located in the west of Kediri, near with Stella Manglang Cave and Air Langga Museum. The location is also near with Masku Mambang Hills, makes the Kadiri University be a comfortable place for studying and learning. Kadiri University has big contribution of Kediri development. It's said by Sudanjo Supriyadi Wali Songo Kediri Foundation since 1980. Kadiri University has passed many bachelor to fulfill the society needs in Kediri especially and in Indonesia commonly. The graduates of Kadiri University have gotten a job in many cities and countries all over the world. Creating the combatant, superior, characterless to be able to compete internationally in 2026 is the vision of Kadiri University. It is also supported by all faculties in Kadiri University. Kadiri University has academic, profession, and vocational education, namely Law Faculty, Social and Politics Faculty, Agriculture Faculty, Economics Faculty, Engineering Faculty, Health Science Faculty. Using student-centered learning, Kadiri University supported by the good quality of lecturer to get the good cognitive, effective, and psychomotoric graduation to be able to compete in globalization era. Kadiri University has academic and non-academic facilities such as library, computer center, language center, ASEAN Studies Center, sports stadium, investigation gallery, mini hospital, and job placement center to make the student easier to get job.
Mari bergabung bersama kami di Universitas Kadiri.
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Ladies and gentlemen, may I have your attention please? Our seminar is about to begin. Please have a nice seat at your home, office, and wherever your location is right now. Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Sony Susanto, the moderator of today's seminar. I am very pleased to see you all here and welcome all of you to this international webinar entitled Development of Sustainable Technology Toward the Industrial Development. This seminar is hosted by Engineering Faculty Kadiri University and four outstanding co-hosts, University Kebangsaan Malaysia, University Tun Horizon on Malaysia, Politeknik Negeri Bali, and Engineering Faculty Kadiri University. We welcome His Excellency Rector of Kadiri University, Mr. Joko Raharjo, MP, His Excellency the Vice President, Dr. Andes Aryadi Santoso, MM, His Excellency the Third Vice Dean Kustanto, SHMH, His Excellency the Fourth Vice Dean, Dr. Andes Tauka, MPD, His Excellency the Head of National and International Office, Pamadya Vistasmoro, SBD, MPD. We also welcome for honorable speaker. Let us greet them one by one. First is Mr. Dian Yunus, Bachelor Engineering, Magister Engineering, PhD, Faculty of Civil and Built Environment, University Tun Horizon on Malaysia. Hello, Mr. Juan. Test your voice. Hello.
My voice? Okay.
Yeah,
Hi,
good
good
morning.
morning. Assalamualaikum.
Waalaikumsalam warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. How are you doing? Fine?
Alhamdulillah, very good.
We're very pleased to have you here, Mr. Juan.
Thank you.
You will be the first speaker, sir. Thank
Mhm.
you. Looking forward to your presentation, Mr. Juan.
Okay.
Second speaker is Professor Dr. Lili Suyajeng, STMT, Faculty of Civil Engineering, Politeknik Negeri Bali. Hi, Prof. Lili.
Hai, Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Morning all.
Waalaikumsalam warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Good morning,
Nice to
Bu.
meet you all.
Yeah.
Yeah, good morning Pak
It's
Sony.
very nice to meet you. Thank you very much
Yes.
for participating in the seminar. Looking forward to
You're
your
welcome.
presentation. You will be the second speaker, Prof. Lili.
Yes, I'm ready.
Okay. The third speaker is Muhammad Nizam Abdul Rahman, PhD, Faculty of Engineering and Built Environment, the University Kebangsaan Malaysia. Hello, Mr. Nizam.
Hello, good morning. Assalamualaikum.
Waalaikumsalam warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Hello, Mr. Nizam.
Yeah, hello.
Good morning.
Morning.
Very good morning from Indonesia. Is
Malaysia is going to afternoon. It's 11 now.
Yes, the same in Bali ya, Prof.
Yeah.
Dr. Nizam ya.
Yes, it's super nice to meet you, Mr. Nizam.
Yeah,
Thank you
me
so
too.
much for attending this seminar. Looking forward to your
Yeah.
presentation, Mr.
Yeah, my
Nizam.
pleasure.
Okay. You will be the third speaker. The fourth is Mr. Joseph Cahyo Stianto, PhD MT Engineering, the Dean of Engineering Faculty, Kadiri University. Hello, Mr. Joseph.
Hello, good morning.
Good morning.
Yeah,
How are you?
I'm fine, thanks.
Are you ready a presentation?
Okay, I'm ready.
You will be the last speaker, Mr. Joseph.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Sony.
The fifth is Miss Sri Rahyuningsih, the head of Committee International Webinar. Hello, Miss Sri. Good morning. Can
Still
you
mute.
turn your audio?
Hello, good morning.
Good morning, Miss Sri. How are you?
I'm fine, thanks.
And then you will be in the welcome speech, Miss Sri Rahyuningsih.
Yes,
Okay.
I'm ready.
And of course, we welcome of our participant. Thank you very much for preparing yourself to attend and participate in this seminar. I hope all of you in good health and good condition because we will welcoming a great effort in developing and exploring our common goal in academic and education atmosphere in spite of settling global situation due to COVID-19 pandemic. And we are proud and honored to host this event, gathering amazing participants and discussing development of sustainable technology toward the industrial development. Now, let me read to you the program of this seminar. Number one, the opening ceremony by listening to national anthem of the Republic Indonesia and national anthem of the Republic Malaysia. Number two, welcoming speech from the Dean of Engineering Faculty, Kadiri University. Number three, opening speech from the Head Committee of International Webinar. Number four, the presentation of speaker. The first speaker is Mr. Juan Yunus. The second speaker will be Professor Dr. Lili Sudiajeng. The third speaker is Mr. Nizam. And the last speaker will be Mr. Joseph Cahyo Stianto. Number five, the question and answer session for all the honorable speaker. Number six, closing and taking picture together for all the participant and speaker. Ladies and gentlemen, without all further ado, let's start this seminar. Firstly, for this moment of hope, let's pay our respect to the national anthem of the Republic Indonesia, Indonesia Raya. In respect to our speaker from Malaysia, let's pay our respect to the national anthem of Malaysia, Negaraku. Our second program is the welcome speech from the Dean of Engineering Faculty, Kediri University. I invite His Excellency, Mr. Yosef Cahyo, for the welcome speech. Mr. Yosef Cahyo, please, you can to start the speech.
Okay. Thank you, Mr. Sony. Honorable Mr. Ridwan Yunus, Bachelor Eng, Magister Engineering PhD, Faculty of Civil and Built Environment, University Tan Hussein On, Malaysia. Professor Dr. Lili Diajeng, ST, MT, Faculty of Civil Engineering, Politeknik Negeri Bali. Muhammad Nizam Abdul Rahman, PhD, Faculty of Engineering and Built Environment, the University Kebangsaan Malaysia. Head of Sudanjo Supriyadi Foundation, Dr. Heru Marwanto, and the Rector, University Kediri, Insinyur Joko Raharjo, MP, and the Kediri University lecturer, as well as participants of the Kediri University International Webinar. Good morning, and best wishes for all of you. First of all, let us give thanks to the God, because with His permission, today we can meet here to join in the international webinar together with the theme Development of Sustainable Technology Toward to Industry Development. Kediri University has many international collaboration with many universities such as from Malaysia, India, East Timor, and also Thailand and Brunei Darussalam, because Kediri University vision and mission is being internationalized in 2026. Ladies and gentlemen, I respect with this event, we hope that can develop our university and also can support the Kediri University vision and mission to be internationalized. Happy on join with webinar Hopefully, what we do today will benefit us all. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Mr. Yosef. Our third program is the opening speech from the head of Committee of International Webinar. My invite His Excellency Ms. Sri Rahyuningsi for the welcome speech. Ms. Sri Rahyuningsi, please, you can to start the speech.
Thank you, Mr. Sony. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Good morning, all. I would like to say thank for the honorable speaker, Mr. Ridwan and Mr. Nizam from Malaysia, and my beloved sister from Bali, Prof. Lily, for their willingness to attend our first international webinar. I say thanks also for all participants for this willingness to join. Hopeful this seminar will give us benefit. Have a nice seminar. Waalaikumsalam warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Thank you very much, Ms. Sri Rahyuningsi. Now, we will move the main program, the presentation from each speaker. Before the presentation begins, I will read the regulation how the presentation will be going on. Number one, during the seminar, we turn off all the participant mic feature. Number two, each speaker has around 20 minutes for the delivering the presentation material. Number three, participants are invited to ask questions for each speaker through the chat feature, but on the Zoom application and YouTube live streaming or our other social media platform account. Number four, our team will select several questions from the participant for us each speaker, depending on the time left for the session, and I'll read the question for the Ethan speaker in the question and answer session. Okay, now, firstly, I'd like to give the time to our speaker, Mr. Ridwan Yunus, PhD, to present his material for about 20 minutes. But before that, allow me to briefly introduce to you the profile of our speaker. I will share my screen of the profile of Mr. Ridwan Yunus, PhD. Mr. Ridwan Yunus, there is academic qualification, Doctor of Philosophy 2013 from Queensland University of Technology, Brisbane, Australia. And then Master of Engineering 2003 from University of Technology Malaysia, Sukhothai, Johor, Malaysia. And have Bachelor of Civil Engineering, the Engineering 2001. And there is some working experience. Deputy Director of Innovation and Commercialization Center, University Tun Hsen On, Malaysia. And then Associate Professor in Faculty of Civil and Built Environment, University Tun Hsen On, Malaysia. Professor Engineering, Board of Engineering, Malaysia. Professor of Technology, Malaysia Board of Technology, and area expertise, sustainable construction, project management, industrial bullet system, and construction technology. And how about the research grants? There is 4 research grants have published. Here some example: systematic estimation of the potential of net zero energy building, and then the approach in assessing and mitigating construction costs upfront using support system. Selected published. There is topic like emission forecast in precast concrete production, and then application of industrial system, and then model of contractor satisfaction, and then there is challenge in large infrastructure project, and then there is critical sustainability and integrating BIM. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, please give a warm welcome to Mr. Ridwan. Mr. Ridwan, please, the time is yours.
Assalamualaikum and good morning. Can you hear me my voice, Bapak Sony?
Okay, wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh, Mr. Ridwan.
Okay, so let me share my presentation slide. Can you see
Yeah,
my presentation slide now?
yeah, it's clear.
All right. Okay. Okay. Thank you so much, Mr. Chairman, Bapak Sony Susanto. It's
Yeah,
about 11 and 24 minutes past 11 here in Malaysia. So, Alhamdulillah,
yeah.
the situations due to COVID-19 in Malaysia is getting better now. Yesterday, about 95 cases reported in Malaysia. Hopefully, the number will go less than 10 by next week. So I can say the COVID cases in Malaysia is still under control. Even the number for yesterday is a bit high, but the Ministry of Health is able to track the patients and monitor the number of people that might be at risk. Right. So I hope the same situation is happening in Malaysia. Globally, the pandemic situations is we need to control it. So we need to keep practicing 3W, wash, wear, and want. So we need to keep your hand wash, wear face masks, and want practicing the physical distancing. Don't go out if not necessary, and go to clinics if you got any suspicious symptom. Right. So may Allah grant us a good health and safe from COVID-19. And also, I would like to thank to Bapak Rector, Insinyur Joko Raharjo, and his management team for organizing this event. Very good event. So the theme for today's seminar is International Seminar, and the title is, the international seminar and the title is Development of Sustainable Technology Toward the Industrial Developments. So I really appreciate these invitations. And thank you so much to Madam Vita for making these sessions possible. My other respected panels, Professor Dr. Lilit Sudia Jenk and Associate Professor Dr. Muhammad Nizam and Ms. Rahayu. And also not to forget Bapak Yusuf Cahyo, the Dean of Fakultas Teknik Universitas Kadiri. Right. So as introduced by the chairman, my name is Ridwan. And I'm from University Tun Hussein on Malaysia. Right. So for today's presentations, the title of my slides is Sustainable Technology for Building Constructions, Industrial Building System, or also known as IBS. Right. So before I start, allow me to introduce my university, University Tun Hussein on Malaysia. So in Malaysia, we do have 20 public universities, and UTHM is one of them. So as can you see from the presentation slides, UTHM was established in the year 1993. So the chancellor is the Sultan of Johor, Duli Yang Maha Mulia Sultan Ibrahim Ibni Almarhum Sultan Iskandar, and the current vice chancellor is Professor Datuk Technologist Dr. Wahid Rezali. Right. So the numbers of students currently is about 14,764 students with 778 international students. So we do have international students from Yemen, from United Arab Emirates, from Somalia. Most of the students also come from the Middle East country. Then this academic staff is about 1,133 staff. So there are 10 faculties and academic center, including Faculty of Civil and Built Environments, where I come from. So the niche of the university is sustainable technology and transportations. In terms of geography, UTHM is located at the southern of Peninsula Malaysia. To be specific, it is in Batu Pahat, Johor. So it will take you about 3 to 4 hours drive from Kuala Lumpur, the capital city of Malaysia. And from Singapore, it will take you about 1 to 2 hours of drive. So now hopefully you get the idea where UTHM are located in, and I really hope that the audience, people from Universitas Kadiri especially, can visit me one day in UTHM. Right? So please do contact me. All right. So this is the contents or the outlines of my presentations today. So I will start with introductions. Then I will provide you some ideas on the current scenario in Malaysia construction industry. Then I will highlight some issues related to construction industry, the sustainable technology that I'm going to introduce today, the IBS or Industry Building System. Then I will provide you some challenges in IBS implementations. Then the main topics or the main idea that I'm going to discuss today is the way forward of IBS, which is the degree of industrialization. And then I will end my presentation with conclusions. Right. So this is the image which had been produced in 1910s. It's more than 100 years ago. So a French artist, Villemot, he is imagining the future to be in the year 2000. So in the 21st century, the construction industry is supposed to be much more easier with the help of robots. So he is imagining that all the construction activities can be operated by pressing available buttons in the command center. So as you can see here, only one person is operating all the activities that happening at the construction site. So by using this command center, he is producing a concrete block, and then he also layering the block into the building. So I believe if this one is real, so it's going to be more faster time to complete a buildings, and then the price of the total cost to complete the project is also expecting to be reduced by handling a construction as a reproduction process. So when I get this image as a civil engineer, so I feel so amazed. Try to imagine in 1910s, there are some people who are thinking and imagining in year 2000 what is happening in the construction industry. So beside that, on your right hand side, you can see the other image also using robotics um, to minimize the houseworks that need to be do by the housewife as well. And also on the top on your right hand side, the barber using machines to cut the customer hair. All right. So the next slide is the SDG or Sustainable Development Goals. So in September 2015, while addressing the United Nations Sustainable Development Summit, the Prime Minister of Malaysia during that time, Datuk Seri Muhammad Najib Tun Haji Abdul Razak, reaffirmed that Malaysia is committed to support and implement the 2030 Agenda for Sustainable Development and its 17 SDGs or Sustainable Development Goals. So sustainable development has been at the heart of Malaysia's development approach since 1970s, with an emphasis on eradicating poverty, improving the well-being of people, providing universal access to educations, and caring for the environment. So in 2009, Malaysia renewed the commitment to sustainable development when launched the new economic model, which is the featured three goals. So the first one is achieving high income. The second one, inclusivity. And the third one is sustainability. So these continue to resonate well with the three components of SDGs, which is economy, social, and environment, or also known as TBL or triple bottom line. So in this SDG, I'm going to focus on number 9, which is industry innovations and infrastructure. So in order to assist the industries to move forward in the right directions, so we need to assist them with the correct tools, system, techniques, or technologies. So in my next presentation slides, I will provide you some of the issues and technology that can assist the industry to achieve this goal. Right. So considering my expertise and background, allow me to focus to construction industry. So this industry play a significant role to prosper the nations. It's involved about 50 billion ringgit Malaysian amount of work per year. The GDP or gross domestic product for construction industry is about 3 to 5% for each year. So it provides job employment for 800,000 workers, which is 8% from the total workforce. And this industry also acts as a domestic demand multiplier effect. So meaning the tourism sector is depending to construction sector to build infrastructure, roads, bridge and facilities and also buildings. So the same thing happened for the other industries such as education, medical and manufacturing. So meaning that any industry require construction industry to ensure the industry can be developed. So in year 2020, okay, so the growth of construction is reducing compared to the last year. So not only in Malaysia, I believe around the globe is facing the same problems because of the pandemic COVID-19. So there is a reductions for civil engineering and other trades. Um, I can say that COVID-19 is really impacting our economy and hopefully we will keep strong and recover as soon as we can. So from the presentation slide, so you can see the data shows that private sector is dominating the public sector. So the percentage is 62.2% compared to 37.8% for the public sector. Right. So the impacts of construction industry. So we need to realize that construction industry is impacting the economy, the environment, and also the social. So according to the previous literature, so the productions or the productions of carbon emissions globally is from construction industry, which is about 30%. And then the total waste stream is about 30 to 40% from the construction industry. Then this construction industry also responsible for usage about 37 of the total in 37% of the total energy and 68% of all electricity. So in order to ensure the construction industry being developed, about 40% of raw materials used. So because of this, because of the construction industry, this industry caused the resource deteriorations and also physical destructions of ecosystem and long-term climatic changes. So it's also the reason why there is a chemical pollution globally. Then unskilled foreign workers will cause a remittance, economic and social problems. Right. So there are so many issues related to construction industry in Malaysia. So we are facing shortage of laborers, so especially the skilled laborers. So most of laborers that work in the construction industry now is from Bangladesh, from Nepal, Pakistan, and Myanmar. So compared to other industry, the construction industry is still applying to the traditional practices and use conventional materials. So most of the stakeholders reluctant to move or change to new technology and methods. So they are comfortable with the old methods, even the method is not giving them a better profit. So due to manual work, it's very hard to control the quality of the constructions. And at the end, the user or the customer will get a low quality of building. Right. So previous researchers also highlighted the problems in the conventional methods. So Chen, Jailun, Poon highlighted that the conventional methods is labor intensive, meaning require many workers to execute the construction activities with a low productivities. So most of the accidents also happened in the construction industry. So there is a poor safety and health conditions for this industry, and then it will take a long durations to complete a project and to produce a huge. So construction industry also responsible in producing a huge numbers of construction waste. So that's why it's very important for us to transform into a new or modern method, which is sustainable technology industrial building system. Okay, so now I will provide you some definitions of IBS. So what is IBS? So IBS is the term coined by the industry and the government in Malaysia to represent the adoptions of construction industrializations and use of prefabrications of components in building constructions. So in some other countries like Australia, so the term that been used is off-site manufacture, but it represents the same thing. So in the United Kingdom, they use modern method of constructions, and in Hong Kong, they use prefabrication. So specifically in Malaysia, IBS is defined as a construction technique in which components are manufactured in a controlled environment, either on or off-site, then transported, positioned, and assembled into a structure with minimal additional on-site works. So it consists of precast components, precast component systems, fabricated steel structure, prefabricated timber structure, modular block system, and innovative mold system. So the construction industry globally has started to embrace IBS as a method of attaining better construction quality, a cleaner and neater environment, control quality, and lower construction costs. So there are 5 characteristics of IBS in Malaysia. So namely, number 1, prefabrications. So meaning the components can be fabricated, then installed in the buildings as a structural or architectural components. Number 2, off-site productions. So most of the components are produced in a controlled environment. It's like a factory, as a fabrication yard or factories. Number 3, standardized components. The components are standard. It can be easily produced by other manufacturers, right? So IBS in Malaysia is focusing to open system. We do have 2 systems, either closed system or open system. So for open systems, the building components can be obtained from different suppliers, but still can be installed into the buildings according to the structural and architectural design. So the 4th characteristic of IBS is repeatability. So it is expecting that the IBS building can utilize the repetitions in design so that the building components can be produced in a massive amount of volume. So the repetitions allow the similar formwork can be used for the productions and building components. So obviously, when you apply repetitions, it will reduce the construction cost. So lastly, it should be designed using modular coordinations. So the government of Malaysia, through CIDP of Malaysia, developed a standard, which is MS 1064 for modular coordinations. So modular coordinations is a concept of coordinations of dimensions and space where buildings and components are dimensions and positions in a basic unit or module known as 1M, which is equivalent to 100 millimeter. So meaning that 1M is equal to 100 millimeter. So as stipulated in MS 1064, and it was developed in the year 2000. So the concept allow standardizations in design and building components. So it encourages.
Yep. Sorry, sir. There is a 5 minutes again. 5 minutes again. 5 minutes. Yeah.
Oh, I have another 5 minutes.
Okay. Thank you very much.
So I need to speed up my presentations now. So because in Malaysia, okay, so that is the characteristic of IBS. Now I will move forward to the CITP or the programs that been implemented in Malaysia. So it seems like the IBS get really support from the government. So we have CITP. So in the CITP, we do have 4 trusts. Trust number 1, quality, safety, and professionalism. Trust number 2, environmental sustainability. Trust number 3, productivity. And trust number 4 is internationalizations and competitiveness. So with these 2 trusts, number 2 and number 3, so environmental sustainability and productivity, IBS is the best technology to achieve these both trusts. So based on my previous research, I found out that the IBS can contribute into 4 areas. So social, environment, economy, and also institutionals. So as you can see, all the factors can be grouped into 5 categories: technical quality, ecological performance, social equity and culture, implementation and enforcement, and number 5, economical value. So you can see there all the sustainable factors that can be contribute for sustainable deliveries in IBS constructions. But we do have several challenges. So the first one is low adoptions. Local construction industry is still not um, willing to embrace IBS. So most of the stakeholders do not realize the significant cost saving in the IBS applications. Lack of systematic tools. Uh, there is poor collaboration between stakeholders. And then in the construction industry, we do have these separate functional disciplines, or called as over the wall syndrome, right? And then most of the technology is depends on developed country. And then we also have a different perceptions. So we do have a perception based on the architects and the designers. They are more focusing on aesthetic and unique, elegant, all the values that can be seen at the exterior. And then the developers are more focusing on low cost, simplifications, and profits. So it is important to have a consensus in IBS sustainability. So every parties who are involved in the construction industry need to have a clear understanding, need to cooperate, then need to put uh, considerations in sustainability in the early stage, and we need to have a consistent decision making. So according to degree of industrializations, there are 5 levels of degrees. Okay, number 1 is prefabrications, number 2 mechanizations, number 3 automations, number 4 robotics, and number 5 reproductions. So for the first one is prefabrications. So for prefabrications, right? So it is the first degree, and then prefabrication start with pre, or means before, or as well. So in the building construction industry, generally implies for buildings, the components and full modules very similar to other ones, and then it's very similar with the components that we produce traditionally or conventionally. All right. So for instance, most of the housing manufacturers are first building wood frames panels quite similar to the ones done at the construction site, even when they are automated, they are using automated device. Still, for the following reasons, fabrication does bring the construction cost down as much as 15% when the plant is producing at the full capacity. So it is important to note here, the mass productions can be obtained, and also the mass productions is reducing the construction cost. So this image shows that the activities that been conducted at the precast yard. So this one is happening in Traju Precast, which is located in Selangor. So you can see that the components being produced in the factory. After the component is ready, it will be delivered to the construction site. So the second one, or the second degree, is mechanizations, right? So for mechanizations come in whenever machinery is employed to ease the work of the labor. So in a simple word, it is the process of changing from working largely by hand or manually, or using animals with machines. So usually prefabrication will be accompanied by some mechanizations. For instance, the modular housing manufacturers will use pneumatic hammers, rolling bridge, cranes, and climbing formworks. Okay, so you can see here the difference. I mean, like on your left hand side, there are 2 peoples lifting these components manually, okay, using their own energy. On right hand side, this work will be replaced by gantry cranes to lift out the building components. So you can see extensive usage of mechanical and electrical equipments and machineries with aiding prefabrications and construction activities. So machine is still controlled by labor. it uses a complex of machines and equipment. So machines substantially reduce the need of manpower and compared to prefabrications. Right. So this is the image shows in Australia, right? So the girder is lifting by the gantry crane so that components can be delivered and installed at the construction site. So this is another example that taken place in Malaysia. So this component is produced by City Precast India Berhad. So it is a specialist IBS contractor producing precast components for residential units and commercial buildings. So you can see that all the components are produced at the factory. So we do have a construction or precast yard to produce these components, and then these components will be delivered to the construction site. Okay, the third degree is automations. With automations, the tooling is completely taking over the task performed by the labor. So a supervisor is still around, although the industrial engineer and the programmer are the critical participants involved. So it means like for the machines, the programmer will set a programs, recording and instructions, and then the machines will conduct the activities in producing the building components. So there is a study in Sweden. The wood frame panel assembled by automations indicates an economy up to 27% compared to the traditional construction methods. So the quantity was there as those manufacturers covered 90% of the single detached homes in market Sweden in the 1990s. So this is another example in Malaysia. Giant construction companies in Malaysia, Garuda Berhad, so venture into automations with the Gabuna IPS Sdn Bhd. It is important to catalyst the developments of industrializations in Malaysia. So the factory shows the image is located in Banting, Selangor. As you can see, the production area is clear and organized. Only one worker required to operate the computer system. So meaning that automations is helping the building manufacturers to produce a precise building components with a controlled quality. So the numbers of laborers are significantly reduced by transferring the responsibility to machines and computer programs. So this is another example. Okay, the automations is defined as self-regulating process performed by using programmable machines to carry out series of tasks. So automation is also a situation when the tooling or machines completely takes over the task performed by the laborer. So as you can see here, so using the computer programs or BIM programs, so you can set wherever opening that you need to be cut on this timber structure panel. So when you enter all the commands here, automatically these machines will operate accordingly to the instruction given in the program. So number 4 is robotics. Okay, so with robotics,
1 minute again, Mr. Ridwan.
1 minute. Okay.
Okay.
Right. So number 4 is robotics. So with
It's
robotics,
very interesting topic. Yeah. Okay.
yeah, the same tooling has the multi-axis flexibility to perform by itself diversified tasks. So likely the robot is too expensive to use it for nailing wood studs and laying brick. So as you can see, the next image shows that the robots that been produced in the US and then also been used in UK as well. So it's a brick laying robot which is eliminates the needs of labor to lay the bricks. The next one is drones and autonomous vehicles. So drones technology is expecting going to contribute a lot of or transforms the construction industry in a way which is more advanced, as you can see on your right hand side. So this drone is lifting these heavy building components to be installed at the construction project. Then we also have robots to crush and breaks the concretes here. So using this uh, uh, keypad or what you call a controller, so it's going to be much more easier for you to crush because when you do it by by manually, it will make you very sufferings. For 1 hour, you need to break the concrete. Then this one is exoskeleton, all right? So as a human, we do have some limitations. We cannot lift heavy materials or heavy equipments. So with these exoskeletons, it's possible now to be lifted out by one human, right? So this is also happening in the UK. So they are conducting a research to lift, to help humans or workers to lift out heavy things without um, in, expose the workers into injury. Exoskeletons also been used in the other industry as well, not only in the construction industry, in the manufacturers. Then mass customizations. So this is one interesting project, DDP in South Korea. So as you can see here, the components is produced in different size and then different degrees, and even you can choose the type of surface that you want to produce by using robotics. So the last one is reproductions. For reproductions, actually you are reproducing, right? So one of the technology that can be used is using the 3D printer. So as you can see here, the concrete material will be used and stored here in these components, in these compartments, and then you will use special cement to produce this building. So the 3D printing technology being applied in China, right? And then not only in China, the ink used for 3D printed house is based on high grade cement and glass fiber. So this one is in Belgium, right? So actually there are so many videos that you can see and you can download from YouTube. You can see that these buildings being constructed using the 3D building printer. So interestingly, so this house is 2 levels. Okay, you have 2 stories for this building, right? So the second last for my presentation slide. So this is the summary that we discussed. So industrialization, we do have 5 stages. Start with prefabrications, mechanizations, automations, robotics, and reproductions. So the goals that we want to be achieved by using industrializations or sustainable technology, which is IPS, is to reduce or to improve the productivity and reduce the manpower usage in this industry. So for conclusions, IBS can improve the sustainability deliverables. However, the integrations between stakeholders is important. The support from the government is vital. Uh, Transforming to sustainable technology is mandatory, right? So industrializations can benefit developments in terms of social, environments, and economy. So I'm very sorry because I taking so much times, more than what been allocated for me, right? Bapak Soni, sorry, yeah. So thank you so much for your attention.
Thank you very much.
I really appreciate. And if you do have any questions, maybe later on you also can email or contact me with my address. Okay, thank you so much, Bapak Soni.
Yeah, I'm interesting about the exoskeleton robotic and 3D printing reproduction from Chinese. Yeah. How about Malaysia?
We don't have that technology.
Printing in Malaysia. Yeah.
We don't have that technology yet, but we do have a 3D printer for small components. That one is more focused on the manufacturing, not for constructions.
Okay. Thank you very much. The interesting
You're welcome.
About your topic.
Okay.
I'm understand about your topic is sustainable technology for building construction, IPS. IPS is defined as construction is which component is manufactured is a controlled environment, transported, position, and assembly into a structure with minimal additional site work. Sustainable have the development 17 goal on the receipt the impact of construction industry 13 of global CO2, and then transforming to sustainable IPS from conventional to method. And then IPS have many challenge implementation like law adoption, like awareness, like of systematic tool, separate functional discipline, depending of developed country and industrialization have 5 phases like prefabrication, mechanism, automation, robotic, and there is a benefit sustainable technology like environment, sociology, and economic. Thank you. I hope you will stay online for the Q&A session.
Sure.
We will see you again in the next session. Bye for now. And then we will the next two speaker, Mr. Ridwan.
Okay.
Next, I'd like to give the time to our second speaker, Professor Dr. Lili Sudiajeng, STMT, to present this material for about 20 minutes. But before that, allow me to briefly introduce the YouTube profile to our speaker. I will share my screen of the profile of Professor Dr. Lili Sudiajeng, STMT. Professor Dr. Lili Sudiajeng, functional position professor, and then educational background 2010 Doctor of Ergonomic in the Medical Science Study Program, Doctoral Program, Udayana University Postgraduate Program, and the 2002 Master of Ergonomic for Physiology Ergonomic Study Program, Post Program Udayana University Bachelor Degree, and then 1984 Bachelor of Civil Engineering Faculty of Engineering from Udayana University. There is some words like 2018 Satya Lencana Karya Satya, and then sign of honor Satya Lencana Kencana Karya Sabta, and best presenter seminar of competitive grand result DP2M Dikti, the best poster of the seminar competitive grand result of DP2M Dikti, and best presenter seminar of competitive grand result of Bali State Polytechnic. And there is job experience like 2019, the head of Center Cooperation Empowerment of Asset and Relationship International PNP, and the head of PNP Research and Community Research Center, chairman of PNP Net Cooperation Sector Committee, internal rector of Bali State Polytechnic, assistant director for cooperation and development, and head of Polytechnic PLK Derpansar, head of PNP Curriculum Development Unit, head of PNP Civil Engineering Workshop and Laboratory. There is some patent like practical instruction for making rainwater harvesting referral well, and then book activity and coloring book for children, preserving our water, and then save groundwater. Number 4, guideline for occupational safety and health in small medium class work industry. There is some training certificate like research reviewer of SNI, and then civil engineering competency assessor, and then research method of course, overseas sandwich scholarship program, literature review, academic writing and research basic skill. And then there is a academic association profession like now Indonesian Accreditation Board of Engineering Education, now executive committee of the Technical Independent Accreditation Institute, and now member of the Indonesian Project Management Expert Association. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, please give a warm welcome to Professor Dr. Lili Sudiajeng. Please, the time is yours.
Well, thank you, Mr. Sony Susanto, for giving me the opportunity to deliver my presentation. Let me share my presentation first. Is it already appear?
Yeah, it's clear. Yeah.
Okay. Okay. I would like to say hello to some VIP guests for today. The Honorable Director of University of Kadiri, Bapak Insinyur Joko Raharjo MP, the Head of Foundation of Universitas Kadiri, Bapak Dr. Heru Marwanto, Dean of Engineering Faculty, University of Kadiri, Bapak Yosef Cahyo Septianto, our distinguished keynote speakers, the Associate Professor Mr. Mohnizam Abdul Rahman, PhD, and Associate Professor Mr. Ridwan Yunus, PhD, and all participants. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Good morning, all. I do wish that we are all stay safe and healthy, especially during the COVID-19 pandemic. Well, before delivering my presentation, I would like to say thank you to the Rector of University of Kadiri, and then Dean of Engineering Faculty, and also the head of committee, my beloved sisters, Mbak Nining, for inviting me to deliver my presentation in this international conference on sustainable technology toward the industrial development. Well, we are all heard about the presentation, a very interesting presentation from Mr. Ridwan. It was talking about the existing technology development in construction work, starting from manually to very high technology in construction industry. And now, for the next 20 minutes, I would like to present my paper about the basic concept of ergonomic shape approach for sustainable technology development. Well, talking about technology development, there are always some issues, both positive and negative. Actually, partly already explained by Mr. Ridwan. Let's see some of the positive issues. High technology usually reduce physical work, like Mr. Ridwan says before, that requires muscle exertion. It is from ergonomic aspect, and it is good for the worker because it avoids musculoskeletal disorder. High technology, let's say, about medical technology. With this high technology, it makes possible to detect disease much quickly and accurately. It is of learning knowledge and doing research. And we can do virtual consultation, technical, medical, career, psychological consultation. Even we can discuss many things like today in this conference from everywhere. So by technology development, we can do global communication that improve feeling of communication. Those some positive issues about the development of technology, and now let's move to the negative one. High technology usually or sometimes lead to the unemployment, and then also lead to the competition between machinery and human labor. And it's also lead to the big question, will human no longer have any purposes to serve in the world? Is it possible for computers and technology to truly replace humanity? I do hope that we can find the answer about two questions in this conference. And technology development often cause the effect on physical and mental health and also social skill and social life. Why? Because with high technology, sometimes or not sometimes, even we are too preoccupied with ourselves and less concerned about the social environment around us. Now, what is the teenager says about the development of technology? I took the sample of one of the research done by Monica Anderson and Qing Chiang in 2018. It is about the perception of teenager on social media, and the results show that 31% of teen says that social media give positive effects. And then 24% says that social media give the negative effects, and 45% neither positive nor negative effects. This research emphasized that every technology development bring both positive and negative effect. Now let's move to the Industrial Revolution. Started from Industry 1.0 to Industry 4.0. I believe that we are all experienced that every change always has positive and negative impacts. And it must be honestly admitted that technology development are proven to improve the welfare of society. Therefore, any changes and development must be properly accompanied by efforts to minimize their negative impact. I made a simple illustration about the technology development in transportation technology. This picture reminds me about my hometown, Kediri. in the past decade, people go anywhere on foot, and then there were bicycle, and then motorcycle, cars, started with a very simple to the luxury one. And I do believe that people much happier if they have opportunity to experience, to feel the benefit of the technology development. However, it should be acknowledged that the development of technology also brings negative impacts such as pollution, and then environment degradation, exploitation of nature resources. That's why in developing technology should consider all aspects holistically, such as technique, economic, ergonomic, socio-culture, preserve energy, and also environmentally friendly. And now let's try to compare the implementation of industrial revolution in the developed country compared with the developing countries. Implementing the industrial revolution is relatively much easier in developed countries compared with in developing countries such as Indonesia. Indonesia maybe in the middle, yeah, not developed, but also not developing, yeah, I think. For developing countries, the main obstacles that we even found out are readiness of raw materials, and then sustainable standard, unpreparedness of small and medium industry, which is one of the main pillar of economic in a developing country. And then infrastructure and also human resources. For the human resources, building quality human resources is not only assessed from the aspect of expertise or skill and productivity, but in the developing countries, it more importantly focusing on safety, health, and welfare. So, facing those obstacles, it is important to use ergonomic shape approach. Now, here is the definition of ergonomic. I'm sure that all of us already known about this definition, but I'd like to emphasize ergonomic, or the science of work, is the scientific discipline concerned with the understanding of interaction among humans and other elements of a system, and the provision that applies theory, principles, data, and method to design in order to optimize human well-being and overall system performance. This definition stated by International Economic Association Council in 2000. Again, here is I made a simple illustration about the implementation of ergonomic, especially in ergonomic work design. Started from basic concept, started from the idea, and then visualize 2D, 3D. Then ergonomic is more focused on office ergonomics, which placed designers as the first priority of consideration, and then go on to construction work. Ergonomic is more focused on industrial ergonomics, which placed workers as the first priority of consideration. And for the production, ergonomic is more focused on ergonomic product, which is placed the users as the first priority of consideration. We can see from this simple illustration that in every step, ergonomics always placed the human, such as the designers, the workers, the users, as the first priority of consideration. Well, now let's move on to the model of sustainable ergonomic shape approach. Well, I made this model refers to the concept of total ergonomic that founded by Professor Manuabe, the ergonomic father, not only in Indonesia, I think in the world. So he is very well known among the ergonomists in all over the world. So refers to this basic concept of total ergonomic. I try to formulate this model, and for the first time, I presented this model in Malaysia. So, Mr. Ridwan, I presented it in 2007. It is the first time I visited Malaysia, and then 3 others visited. It started on site observation or evaluation to identify there is any indicators of problem or not. If the answer is yes, so the next step should be problem analysis. But if the answer is no, then it means that we have chance to do the development program. Soon after development program decided, then some new problem will be appear. Yeah. and that step, so we should do problem analysis which involve relevant and significant parties to make the priority of list of the problem should be solved, included, let's say, the readiness of human resources, and then raw material, and then technology, and of course, it is about the financial as well. And then go on to SWOT analysis to identify the strengths, the weaknesses, the opportunities, the threats that can be a basic consideration in building strategic planning. And then the question, is the strategic planning, which has already decided, need technology? If the answer is yes, then it needs to do analysis of appropriate technology. Again, we involve the relevant and significant parties to create the appropriate technology. The next step is action plan and followed by implementation, physical product development, validation, and commercialization. And then back to the first step and go on and so on. And this action should be done periodically. By this model, I'm sure that the technology development can be sustained. Dear participant, in the model of ergonomic shape approach, from some steps, it's always involved shape approach. So what is shape approach actually? SHIP stands for systemic, holistic, interdisciplinary, and participatory. Systemic means the technology development plan must consider all subsystems as a whole. And then holistic means every teamwork is always interrelated with other teamwork, so it should be analyzed based on the existence of the teamwork holistically. And then interdisciplinary means the analysis should be utilized with all related and significant discipline as tools. And participatory mean all relevant and significant parties should be effectively involved. Now, let's move to the UN Sustainable Development Goals. I think it is the same pictures that presented by Mr. Ridwan. Now we are let us talking about sustainable development. So refers to UN's Sustainable Development Goals that stated in 2015. There are 17 goals, and I've tried to formulate about how to develop technology that can support the UN's Sustainable Development Goals. I tried to meet the 17 goals to be considered to develop technology. The first is enhance productivity and workers' welfare, and then place the safety as the first priority, enable knowledge and information transfer, gender adjustable human machine, it is ergonomic, clear production or zero waste, economic and preserve energy, and then accelerate economic growth, readiness of infrastructure, equal opportunity and benefits, health, communities and environment, responsible of nature resources consumption, environmentally friendly, technology development for humanities. It is very, very important. And the last is job opportunity development. I tried to formulate it to face the 17th of Sustainable Development Goals of United Nations. And from this, we could conclude that sustainable technology development should at least consider three main aspects. The first is about the work task, work system, work process, and product design that include readiness of infrastructure, knowledge and information transfer, productivity, and economic growth. And the second, it is related with environment, included clean production, preserve energy, and responsibility of nature. And the third is about human or workers. It included safety and healthy, and then equality in gender, job opportunity and benefit, and welfare and peace of the workers. With those considerations, I'm sure that the development of the technology can support the development, the sustainable development goals of UN, and finally leads to the peace and prosperity for people and this planet. Well, dear participant, I think that's all of my presentation. Thank you very much for your kind attention. And I think we can continue with the question and answer session. Now, Mr. Sonny, floor is yours. Thank you.
Yeah, Miss Prof. Lily is in the right time. Thank you very much.
very fast.
Okay. No. Thank you very much for the talk about the economic shift approach for the sustainable technology development have positive and negative impact in era Industry 4, have skill in cyber physical system, Internet of Things and network. It must be hardly admitted the technology development are proven to be able to improve to the welfare of society. If we will compare with sustainable technology development or not, it have goal like safety as the first priority, enhance productivity and worker, welfare enable knowledge and information transfer, economic and preserve energy, health community, and environment responsible of natural resource consumption environmental friendly. I hope you will stay online for the Q&A session. We will see you again in the next session. Bye for now. Prof. Lily.
With my pleasure. Yeah.
In the next speaker, I'd like to give the time to our third speaker, Mr. Nizam Abdurrahman, to present her material for the about 20 minutes. But before that, allow me to briefly introduce to you the profile of our speaker. I will share my screen of the profile Mr. Nizam. Mr. Muhammad Nizam Abdurrahman, PhD, CIPM, CHRM, Faculty of Engineering, Environment, and then from Department of Mechanical and Manufacturing Engineering, Sharon position Professor, Nationality Malaysia, and area specialization, Operation Management with specialization in Supply Chain Management, Lean Manufacturing and Quality Assurance. And about the station, Scopus Index 17, was its index 10, Scopus citation 1132, and then several publication 172. There is work experience and academic qualification like certified associate in project management APM from PMI USA, and certified quantity risk management, and then PhD in manufacturing engineering and operation management, School of Mechanical Material and Manufacturing Engineering, University of Nottingham, and then R&D Engineering Panasonic AV, Master Degree in Technology Management from University Technology Malaysia, and then PhD Homes in Industrial Physics, and the internship program as an entity engineer, basic level 2 for entity inspector, and then he received his PhD in manufacturing engineering and operation management from the University Nottingham. And then Nizam teaches the course such as engineering economy, project management, quality assurance, production planning, and analysis, supply chain management. And then he also of one of the reviewer team of the enhancement of design for manufacturability handbook under Society of Manufacturing Engineer. He has the former deputy director for Quality Assurance Center, and he has appointed as one on the panel for Green Industry Award 2016 Ministry of Natural Resources and Environment and now. Okay, so ladies and gentlemen, please give a warm welcome to Mr. Nizam. Please, the time is yours.
Okay. Assalamualaikum. Thank you very much for Mr. Chairman. A very long, brief introductions, quite detailed of introductions. Okay, let me share the slide. Okay. Just to check the slide, which one is it on the slideshow or on, because I have two screen here. I do not know which one displayed. Let me again. Okay. Okay, thank you very much, Mr. Chairman, and thank you very much also to organizer. And I think let me start here. Development. I'm going to share something back to the basic. Something because we're talking about sustainable technology. We're talking about sustainable or industrial developments. I'm happy that Prof. Lilith have talking about SWOT analysis. It says for strategic management or strategic planning. So it seems like my slide or my presentation is connected to Prof. Lilith ship plan or ship sustainable framework. So my name is Nizam from Department of Mechanical and Manufacturing Engineering. So what I'm going to share is more on manufacturing perspective from because I noticed your school also have an industrial engineering, Bachelor of Industrial Engineering. So my slide is more on manufacturing perspective. Okay, but we go back to the basic. how to implement sustainable technology, what is technology, sustainable technology, how to make it clear, how to choose which project to make it sustain, and how to choose the most suitable project. So mine, I will just to check the sharing. So it's not this one. PowerPoint, PowerPoint. Okay, share. Okay. So later, before we go to the basic things or basic tools in understanding the sustainable theory or approach, later I will share you my study what I share with Siri Malaysia. We're developing two industrial standard. One is a green supply chain practices, and the other one is green logistic. And later, I will show you the best practices and case study in implementing green logistics in Malaysia. But before that, I would like to bring your attention to the basic things. What does that really mean by sustainable development? So if we go to the basic, that Google is most effective, faster, or quite easy for us to seek for the knowledge. So what is really mean by sustainable development? It's development that meet the needs and aspiration of current generation, okay, without compromising the ability to meet future generations. What we are now actually, we are borrowing the the future generation asset and so on. So again, yeah, for the 3 times we see these global goals. I'm not going to I'm going to skip this. Okay, we understand what is sustainable goal. Okay, what is meaning by sustainable, but our topic is sustainable development for industrial for sustainable industrial development. So we have to understand here the meaning of sustainable, the meaning of sustainable technology, and how this later help us to maintain, to sustain in a world of we call to achieve sustainable goals. Okay, what it means by sustainable technology, a term used to describe the use of natural renewable sources, okay, such as sun, okay, all the natural sources for the generation of energy. It includes systems such as rainwater collection and so on. So this is just a basic meaning of sustainable technology, and I believe we can expand the meaning of this sustainable technology, but I bring the most basic example. When we're talking about sustainable technology, we are creating energy efficiency, renewable energy, recycling, um, um, and less pollution, reduce the waste. So when we're talking in from the perspective of manufacturing, from the perspective of industrial, for industrial developments, we have to connect it to 3R or 6R. So we have, when we design the product, when we use the product in our daily activities, in our perception, we apply, for example, when we design the product, reduce. Okay, how we are going to reduce the raw material, how we are going to reduce the space, and then later even maybe that raw material can be that our product can be reused, okay, or recycled, how about our daily practice? Can we refuse the use of that technology harm to the environment? Or then we always rethink in a green way of practices, and our product or when we design the product, can our product easily be repaired? How about the spare part? Uh, how about the cost? So all of this from perspective of industrialization, from perspective of industrial development, as well as I bring the attention to the manufacturing. So we have to make it sustainable manufacturing. And how to make it sustainable manufacturing? We have to apply as a simple 3R, recycle, reuse, or reduce, or more extend more application approaches to CR. Okay, so with that concept, with that framework, we can bring our thinking when we design our process, or when we choose our technique along the way of our product development, along the way of our production from supplier. Because we have input, process, output, right? So from supplier, selection of raw material, selection of selection of supplier, green supplier, and so on, from their certification ISO 14000 and so on. Okay, selection of suppliers, selection of raw material, and then go to the production. We're thinking about the process, increase, either can decrease, or we can use energy efficiency, and the use of machines, the use of um, energy, or as simple as the use of all the facilities in a green way, in a green thinking. Okay, from the perspective of sustainable. So when we're talking about sustainable, it not harm to the environments. It should give a good in return to people, as well as a company can maintain their profit. Okay? And we calculating energy efficiency from the perspective of maintenance, from the perspective of energy usage. Then we have output. That output, we have to bring the intentions of either it going to harm the environment, pollutions. Okay, it's going to the river. Okay, it's going to the society. Okay, then with the works of industrials, symbiosis, working from suppliers, networking, transportation, we got warehouse, and back to design for remanufacturing. So with this context, okay, I would like to expand further the questions. How? Okay, we are talking about reuse. We are talking about reduce raw material. We are talking about we are going to protect our environments. We are going to launch the project, but how? How we are going to start? Okay, it's easy to understand sustainability. It's easy to understand. For example, we are going to reduce the waste. The question is how to start. So with that, we are talking about global goals. We are talking cyber technologies. We use natural resources, and then we already talked about recycle. But the point is, we have to maintain the benefit to the society, the benefit to the people. As a manufacturer, they have, because to survive, they need making the profit. Okay, and later the impact goes to the planet or environment. As a manufacturer, from point of view manufacturer, when we produce our product, of course we think that okay, we look at the profit. We would like to get as much as possible profit. It made us rich, but if we have our own responsibility, if we ask ourselves, who going to buy our product, what the impact, the value they gain from our product. Okay, how about the material letter, and what made the life of the people better, what made the life of the society better. Okay, what from manufacturing, although we producing parts or the products, we have to think from the that it should be balanced. Okay, should be balanced between the profit that we targeted, the benefit of the society, and it's not harm to the planet, because we are borrowing the future generations assets. So we have to make sure that we make it sustain, maintain. With the impact of now industrial 4.0, at the same time we have technological innovation. Yes, we create a new technology, a new innovations to the benefit of the people, to cost down and so on. But there is a side impact. There is a side. There is in return, either positive or negative. So I'm going to support sustainable society, or sustainable approach, what so call it that. But as a manufacturer, so how I'm going to start my project, that later in return I can make sure I can achieve from the context of sustainable development. For the context, at the same times I can maintain my industrial or manufacturing developments. So that's why I say I'm happy. I'm quite when Prof. Lily mentioned about SWOT, it seems like my presentation is connected with her, because that a framework, sustainable economic approach, a SHIP approach, there is a SWOT analysis. Okay, so how we are going to use now SWOT analysis to make sure that our project is sustained, our business is sustained. Okay, we are going to give the good impact to environment, to society, to make sure our community, our society remain sustained, not harmful to environment and so on. So how to start that? The basic questions. First, okay, we have to know our external issue. What is hot in the external or environment? What is the current issue? What is the current problems? What is the hot topic? So we can analyze through pastel analysis. Pastel, some people put is political, environment, society, technology, or economic, and then legal. Some people put as a PEST only, PEST. They combine P, political and legal. They combine environment and economic, society or societal approach, perspective, technological perspective, or some people also put it pestilent. There is a E here, include ethic, ethic or etica. This is because that is the most important thing as a designer, as a manufacturer, to play ethic in all their business activities. Okay? Make it without ethic, without a good ethic, we that's normally we cannot make it sustain. Okay, So when we understand the external environments, okay, when we understand the external environment, what is the hot topic? What is the, for example, now we're talking about green, and then government give more incentive for those who embark the green project. So that is actually our opportunity for our company to follow, to understand that now it is good for us to embark the project which is in line with government incentive, it's a government promotion. Government now talking about more incentive for carbon footprint, carbon emissions, or a reduced number of transportations. So as a manufacturer, this is what we are should understand, okay? And we also should understand the company strength, what we are good in, okay? We have a good talents, we have a good skills, we have a good number of manpower, uh, so we have to understand our situations, because to move forward we have to know our strength. What is our weaknesses? Maybe we lack of technology, money, skills, whatever. So we can identify that. And then what is the threat from competitor, fluctuations of economy, currency, because when we make it our project sustain to support sustainable industrial developments, the project take 2 or 3 years, 5 years, and so on. So it's good for us to understand, to make it clear as and getting or collecting information as much as possible, to make sure that we can reach the end with a good objective with our project or our product, yeah, meet the sustainable goals or components. Okay. So with that SWOT, okay, opportunity consider is external, and then your company's strength and weaknesses we consider as internal, and strength is a positive side, and weaknesses and threat is a negative side. So you lose, you jot down, you list all of your strength here, and then the opportunity from perspective of pastel, political, environments, technological, that's great opportunity for you for the business. And then for internally your weaknesses, okay, um, financial or technology, perhaps skill, and then what is external, the environments that make you less competitive. Okay, that's become a threat maybe from your competitor, your economic point of view. Then you can list all of this. Yeah, so you can use the existing strength to get advantage of opportunity. You can use you can work on your weaknesses, our weaknesses, to prevent or missing on those opportunity. So we work on weaknesses to prevent the threat, and we can use our strength to grab or to reduce likelihood the impact of the threat. So we can list all our strength here. So when we mapping this, so it become later turn to the strategy, turn to the project, turn to the next actions, because we already with a good information and with a good knowledge, it's probably it's a strategic planning. So this is quite basic. When we list, we get all information here. It seems like we are ready for the next level. We are ready for the move forward, because we at least we have a good information for the next level. Okay, so okay, we list all our strength. This is the example. We have a good existing brand, okay, and then but not yet good perceptions on our brand. We have a new market. This is a new green market. People look at that now. Green, people look at energy saving. That's a new opportunity in sustainable context. And then new entrants or new competitor become our threat. So we can list this as a strategy. With our strength, with our opportunity, so we are creating a new strategy, a new project. With our weaknesses, with opportunity, maybe we can join venture. We can look at for partnership. And then with our weaknesses and with the threat, so we build the strength, defensive strategy, how to make sure that competitor cannot attack. There is no new competitor exist or emerge in the market. So we can list all of this with a clear information and become our project S1, S2, S3, and S4. So as I mentioned before, we are talking at the end of our goals, how to make it sustainable, how to produce sustainable components. But that's the end of our goal. But how to start? How to make sure our project sustain, and in return we can produce what is goals, sustainable goals, or a good project. So basic, actually we can use a simple tools to make sure that we can achieve to what we plan, and understand from the context external and understand from the context of internal. Internal from the context of our strength and weaknesses, and from external influences from political, governments, economic, technology. So by understanding these situations, it's like a strategic planning for us to move forward. Okay, so after we select the best project, the best that support us to remain sustained, or support us to whatever sustainable goal within that 17 sustainable goal, added for poverty, for clean water, for innovations, for technology, for manufacturing. Then the question is again, which one is the best from these 4 projects? How to choose the best project? So you can list all the project 1, project 2, with all the criteria, your niche, your important, your critical criteria, because you understand your strength and weaknesses already. So you know how to tackle and how not to move forward, you know how to focus already. So we can develop the criteria that we would like to focus from the perspective, perhaps people, profit, planet. We can develop criteria from perspective safety issue. Okay, waste, reduce waste, or reduce carbon footprint from the production, productivity, energy, from the energy saving. So we can mapping your project and you give the weightage for each of the you so-called the most critical criterion that you would like to focus on. Then you start calculate and multiple all these weightage scoring, then you will get the highest one. The highest one mean that this is the most reliable, promising project. That's most project that we should be focused on. Okay. Okay. From that, actually, we are move to the basic one. To the how we conduct the project to achieve, to make sure that at the same time our project remains sustainable, and at the end we can achieve our sustainable goals. Before I share with you our green logistic and the green supply chain management, I would like to share from the perspective of manufacturers. Okay, this is I took this from internet. You can Google, for example, you can Google Ford Green, so you can explore further and can read their successful story, how they make it a cleaner manufacturing, reducing the amount of existing hazardous material, how they apply six just now: reduce, recycle, um, um, reuse, rethink, refuse, then repair. So how they use all this from the perspective of manufacturing 6R in applying in their designing, productions of manufacture of the cars. For example, this one they are using pop bottles for their fabric, and they are using recycle for the recycle yang for seat fabric and all. So now in Malaysia, we are facing one of the problem. We call it end of life vehicle. We got so many abandoned vehicle, and some of the because before this we have dumping plastic bottle issues. Uh, but we also now are facing another problem. We call it end of life vehicle. We have abandoned cars and abandoned transport, because when we're using um, cars after a certain period of time, actually the maintenance costs, and then they produce more carbons. It's harm to the environment, it's harm to the cost. So some of the developed country, they dump or they send that so-called old vehicle to the developing countries, because they don't want to bear the maintenance costs. Okay, because it's, and then that cars produce more carbons. So in the context of end life vehicle, Malaysia is now proposing policy how to handle abandoned cars. We noticed that some abandoned cars just left on the road, just left without we do not know the owner. So that's become the problems to our society. And the battery is one of the now because there is a not yet a good technology on how to reuse the battery. Okay, the
Mr.
other
Nizam,
things.
I'm sorry, that is
How many minutes I have left?
2 minutes again. 2 minutes again.
1 minute.
2 minutes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay.
I'm sorry.
This is we have to think from the perspective of Indonesia. When they move their capital to Kalimantan, and how it will later give a good impact to society, to the planet, to the at the same time develop the country and develop the manufacturing or industrial develop. And okay, because I'm from manufacturing, quite my research area is more on supply chain and transportations. So this is how China plan with their Silk Road. They call it Silk Road Economic Belt or 21st century maritime Silk Road. From all goes to the China, and it's also involved Indonesians. Indonesian has signed with China agreement in 2013, and I believe in developing high-speed rail. Okay? And Malaysia now is on the way of developing ETLL. So when we develop road or transportation or any facilities, we should always ask ourselves how we're going to help the society, the environment, as at the same time making profits. Okay. So this is in a short best practice and case study in implementing green logistics in Malaysia. We developed
Sorry, Mr. Nizam. It's not clear in there. How about your internet online? It's not connection, Mr. Nizam. Mr. Nizam? Hello?
we developed two standards.
How about online internet in Malaysia? Still slow?
The indicate battery slow. Battery. Hold on. I'm working with Siling, a chair for this.
In here, it's not clear.
Project development.
Your voice is not clear, Mr. Nizam. Mr. Nizam?
Industrial things. Standard. So,
Mr. Nizam?
for green logistics.
Hello, Mr. Nizam? Hello, Mr. Nizam? Hello, Mr. Nizam? Still waiting Mr. Nizam to enter again. I'm sorry, there is out Mr. Nizam. I'm still contact Mr. Nizam. Okay. We will the conclusion about the Mr. Nizam. There is a basic concept of sustainable the 6 RS like reuse, repair, reduce, rethink, and recycle. And then Mr. Nizam, the topic is development of sustainable technology toward the industrial development. Sustainable technology anthem used to describe the use of natural renewable sources like sun, wind, and sugarcane for the generation of energy. It includes a system as rainwater collection and the reuse of greywater. And then sustainable technology have concept environment, social, and economic for make successful. Sustainable have a strategy with SWOT analysis. Best practice and case study implementing in Malaysia must consider with green supply like waste management and internal environment standard practice, green logistic, warehousing, green packing. Okay. Number 4, the last speaker. Now we move on the 4th speaker, Mr. Yosef Cahyostianto, PSTMT Engineering, to present her material for about 50 minutes. But before that, please allow me to briefly introduce to you his profile. I will share my screen of his profile. Mr. Yosef Cahyostianto studied in Universitas Kediri and as the Management Contraction Untak Surabaya, Mr. Teknik from Geotechnik Universitas Gadjah Mada, Jogja, and then have job experience like CV Cipta di Bandung, and then CV Sutowijoyo Kediri, and then PT Kopal Utama Indomel Bandung, and PT Bumi Patra Indonesia Bandung. And there is organization like Kapensi Kediri, Kadin Kediri, Kagama UGM, and Forum Dekan Teknik Indonesia. And there is a journal, the topic from published Yosef Cahyostianto, like modeling of the parking lot, empty parking lot based on ultrasonic sensor, and then like big porous concrete mixture, and then contrast management, and then utilization of waste granted as mixed aggregate in ACL. Okay. So, ladies and gentlemen, please give a warm welcome to Mr. Yosef. The time is yours.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Sonny. Good morning. Oh, good afternoon for Prof. Lili and Pak Ridwan, ya. Pak Ridwan and all of you. The basic concept of sustainable material is next. Okay. Next. No. Okay. A product can be considered sustainable if its production enables the resources from which it was made to continue to be available for future generation. A sustainable product can thus be created repeatedly without generating negative environment effect, without causing worse product or population, and without compromise with well-being of worker or communities. Next. Our team's research result by measuring which economic activity produce the most emission. 64% of global carbon dioxide emission are energy or process related. The rest are from deforestation, agriculture, and decay. 35% of this emission are from industry and 31% from buildings, 27% from transport. Next. Sustainable material. A product, if its production allow the research use to continue to be available the future generation and have to lose possible impact on human health and environment. In 1987, the World Commission and Environment and Development definition of sustainability, which become widely known as Birdland Report, it states that sustainability development meets a need of the present without compromising an ability of future generation to meet their own need. From this point of view, a product can be considered sustainable if its production enables the research from which it's made continue and available for future generation. The low possible impact on human health and on the environment. Next. Alwood LCMP group has created material manifesto, which included the following 6 actions to make future use of material more sustainable. Number 1, useless metal by design. We could make big saving by optimizing the design of metal component. The material used by industry are often designed in a regular shape and to make a produce easier and more efficient. But this means that they often use more material than they have to. The researcher calculate if we can optimize beam design, for example, suit their use, we could wait saving the up to 30% with similar reduction and emission caused by production. Okay. Number 2, reduce yield loss. One extreme example is the aluminum wing skin used for airplanes. 90% of the metal produced of process and up smart or aluminum scrap. The researchers found that this often result of habit rather than necessity. The team calculate reduced yield losses and other technique would cut carbon dioxide emission by about 16% in the steel industry and 7% in the aluminum industry. Number 3, deferred manufacturing scrap. Okay, scrap metal is usually sent to recycle, which means melting energy-intensive process. In fact, it could just be used elsewhere. For example, most steel scrap comes to blanking skeleton. So we could effectively reduce scrap still by half this to skeleton when the manufacturing of smaller component intense. Number four, reuse. Reuse old component before recycle at all. Old components are often recycled when they could be reused direction instead. Car, car demands are example a good practice. Breaking up damage or old artificial reuse to the component, but still construction remain the big potential asset. And although the beam for dismantled building are usually recycled, they could often be used again strike away instead. Next, number five, extend the life of product. Frigid are good example. We still need them. The UK destroy 33% more frigid every year than we make cars. The researchers advocate modify product modify product rather than replace, okay, and urging. So the last is reduce final demand. Okay, next. Okay, sustainable material aspect are social, economic, and environment. Social harness to the potential of local sustainable material, so that natural research extraction can be limited. And the saving in operation costs of unused material can affect the company development. And environment reduction of the risk of hazard impact with refers to the pollution of land, air, and human physics. Next. Okay, we can see it mineral wool, glass, or other material. It is a sample material. This material, although widely used, can be harmful to human health, and the fiber is in health as they can enter a flowly lung and can cause skin irritation. So, therefore, the material must be at quality code in directly exposed to air. Next. Okay. When building the building down, the steel girder is totally reachable. all you need to do is unbolt and clean, and because steel doesn't degrade with us, because the steel will not be damaged during use. Okay, next. Utility of filter cigarette butt with as mixed material, lightweight, porous concrete. Okay, the abstract. Cotton filter cigarette butt are cotton-based fiber which are lightweight, porous, and easily absorb water. The job mix for this research is 1 meter cubic of concrete consisting of cement 276 kilogram and 214 liters of water and 148.62 kilogram of cigarette butt, and then 828 kilogram of sand. Obtain the highest compressive strength value at 28 days of concrete reach K 115.56, which means that has reached the target for concrete paving of K 100. Next. We can see in the table we have 5 sample. 5 sample. This study use quantitative method of testing the compressive strength of the concrete. Now, the data that generate from compressive strength test will process like the example. Okay. You can see the absorption test was one. Oh yeah, it was found average value of water absorption times was a quarter hour, 1 hour, 4 hour, 24 hour. The result were 0.116 liter, 0.269 liter, 0.374 liters, and 0.699 liters. Okay. Conclusion. Okay, next. Yeah. Research on clay structure, stability, monomarylonite using washed coffee ground. On this study effort, we make to stabilize the type on monomarylonite soil using a combine of coffee ground wash with variation of 5%, 10%, 15%, and 20%. When the compaction test with the condition of solid specimen is perfect, the dry volume of the original soil is 6.72 gram per centimeter cubic. After adding coffee pulp was by 20%, the bare amount increased to 10.56 gram per centimeter cubic. Okay. Okay, you can see the table. In this study, researcher use soil classification testing, soil consistency limits, and soil compaction. Yeah. Okay, from research and calculation, research conclusion, the soil sample have activity value 36.63 per 25.7 is 1.42. Okay, concluded that this include in the category of non-marylonite clay minerals. Next. Okay, you can see the table. It's a table when original soil structure test object has dry volume weight. Okay. The next. Conclusion. Okay, conclusion in calculation of the large plastic index on the original soil test object with addition of coffee was amount to 50%, which has the high liquid limit and plastic limit difference, which is 34.44%. In soil compaction testing of test object with the addition of coffee was of 20% of the weight of the test object is optimum result of compaction test after conversion in heavy alignment. Okay. Next.
Mr. Yusuf,
Okay.
1 minute again.
Okay.
Okay.
The next research. Okay. Thank you. The next research is strong concrete press utilize sugar cane wash and additive Sicasim bonding adhesive. Okay, in this study, the concrete mixture was added with bagasse and Sicasim bonding additive to study the effect of bagasse on compressive strength, the normal K300 concrete by replacing bagasse 5%, 10%, and 15% of the compressive load. Okay. Next. Research method. This research method use library experimental method in laboratory of Faculty of Engineering Kadiri University. We can test object about from a block measuring 15 times 15 times 15 centimeters. and you can see the table. Okay. Next. Okay, based on the three data above, we can find the ratio of compressive strength of concrete according the gas content 7.14 and 20 days. The highest compressive strength 5% bagasse content. And the conclusion from the test result for the additive of bagasse and additive Sikasim bonding adhesive on the concrete mix decrease compressive strength at the age of 28 days, less than a mixture of normal concrete K300. From the result of the data above, it can be concluded that adding bagasse to the concrete mixture is not recommended because it does not match the aggregate criteria. Okay, it's enough for me. Thank you. Back to Mr. Sony.
Okay, thank you very much, Mr. Yosef, for your interest in your presentation. The topic of sustainable material is production along the result use the continue to be available to future generation and have the lowest possible impact on human health and environment, and then sustainable development meets the needs of the present without compromising the ability of future generation to meet their own needs. Seek action to make the future use of material more sustainable, use less metal by design, reduce use loss, and devote manufacturing scrap, and reuse all components before recycling at all, extend the life of product, reduce final demand. Sustainable material aspect like harness of potential local sustainable material so that natural resource extraction can be limited. And then sustainable material aspect like reduction of the risk of hazard impact, which refer to the pollution of land, air, and human physics. And then the saving in operating costs for unused material can affect the company development. Okay, I hope you will stay online for the Q&A session. We will see you again in the next session, Mr. Yosef. Okay, Mr. Yosef and all speakers, our team has selected several questions from the audience. I will read the question for the intent speaker in this question and answer session. Number 2, to Mr. Ridwan. Hello, Mr. Ridwan. Hello, Mr. Ridwan. There is question. The name is Putra from the OIN Suska.
All right.
He want to asking about you. Do you think that the work which can be done by robotic will be reduce the employment demand? And
okay.
is it important to make technology limitation for it?
Okay.
It's clearly about the question.
Yeah. Okay. It's very interesting questions. Thank you for asking. Can you hear my voice?
Okay, it's clear.
All right. Okay.
Yeah.
So is it necessary to have robots to replace humans? I mean, like when you use robots, it will reduce your dependency to humans. So there is no job opportunities for humans. So is it that questions?
Yeah.
Okay.
Uh,
From my opinions, it's not. We need to see technology as um, our tools or equipment in order to improve the productivity in constructions. So in Malaysia, for examples, we do have some limitations. We do have a shortage in terms of laborers. We rely to foreign workers which is unskilled from Myanmar, Bangladesh, Nepal, and Pakistan. So we need to have this technology in order to enhance the productivity and helps the people in Malaysia in order to produce or manufactures or to construct a building. So my point is we need to see the technology as our tools and equipment instead of looking technology as our competence. So it means like we need to use technology effectively. We need to know what is our limitations and how to replace our limitations with the technology. For example, the exoskeletons. I mean, like we do have some limitations in order to lift heavy materials. So by having that technology, we can execute the activities. So that's that is the beauty of technology in construction industry. So did I answer the questions? Is it okay?
okay, it's clear.
Okay.
It's okay.
Right.
Okay.
Okay.
And then there is question again to
Mm-hmm.
Miss Lily.
Okay.
Uh, there is name from Miss Linda, uh, University from Kadiri University, and there is question. According to you, does Indo ready to apply industry revolution for all the aspect, and what should be done by industrial to reduce the impact for revolution?
Rita.
Sorry, please repeat slowly, Mr. Sonny.
Okay.
From?
According about your topic,
Okay.
how about the reduce about the impact industrial for revolution? How can solution about the negative impact industrial revolution for?
Okay, thank you. I try to answer the question. It is interesting question from Miss
Linda.
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 Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, how to reduce the negative impact of industrial 4.0? Yeah. From ergonomics point of view, so the industrial 4.0, our activities mostly the interaction between us, between human and computer. Is it right?
Right.
And
right.
in this work condition, there are many hazards that can minimize by implementing the ergonomics concept. Let's say about the human-computer interface. Some of the hazard are, the first is static work posture. Let's evaluate ourselves during the 6 months of COVID-19 COVID-19 pandemic. So how long is we sit in front of our laptop? From my self-evaluation, sometimes I have more than 3 virtual conference with sitting posture. Of course, it is very hazardous for us if we cannot manage ourselves in doing this interface between us and the computer. So let's say for sitting posture, if we sit more than 2 hours with static posture, maybe some of us experience about the musculoskeletal disorder. So we feel pain in some part of our body. Let's say low back pain, and then neck pain, and then shoulder pain, and so on. And how to minimize this effect? As my presentation before, that musculoskeletal disorder it takes the highest cost of health compensation, occupational health compensation. So how to avoid it? So we can try to organize our workstation. Workstation mean interface between tools, between computers with ourselves. For static work posture, research shows that it's better for us to have static posture, let's say sitting posture, not more than 1.5 hours. It's better if every 1 hour, and then we change our posture into standing posture. To have this kind of working condition, we can adjust our table, yeah, or we can choose the adjustable table. So we can arrange the height of the table when we do with sitting posture. Then try to arrange the chair or the table that make us have natural posture. Let's say the height of the table should be at least 5 to 15 centimeters below our sitting, below the what we call it, below the arm, yeah, below the arm sitting posture. So with this posture, it is avoid the musculoskeletal disorder. The other negative impact during this COVID-19 pandemic, let's say about our eye pain, radiation of computer. I think it is also answer the question from, we call it from Mr. Sunardi. Yeah, it is similar question, I think. So to minimize the negative impact of Industrial 4.0, again, from ergonomic point of view, we placed the human, the worker, as the first priority. And for Industrial 4.0, the main concern of ergonomics, mostly about the cognitive ergonomic, and then monotonous or static working posture, and then physical environmental, such as lighting, and so on. So we should arrange our work condition to meet the standard that recommended for our health. Let's say if we do the job with needs accuracy, then the lighting should be arranged with more than 500 lux, for example. And then the distance between eye and the screen of our laptop. So we can arrange that make us feel comfort. And another basic implementation of ergonomic that can avoid some negative impact of Industrial 4.0. Maybe this is my short answer for the question, but if there is still any in-depth explanation, so we can discuss it more if there is still time. Yeah. Mr. Sonny, back to you, or is yours?
Okay. Thank you, Miss Lily. And then to Mr. Ridwan again, there is question from name Miss Ratna Agustina Wiko Kusumawardani from institution Universitas Pancasakti Tegal. And then the question, can you explain difference between prefab system and precast system of EPS in Malaysia?
Okay, thank you, Mr. Sonny. So regarding the Ratna's question, so actually I answered it through the Zoom group chat. So it's just a difference between what are the differences between prefabrications and precast concrete. So prefabrication is the practice of assembling components of a structure. So for prefabrications, you can use whatever materials you want to precast. So I mean, like in a factory, you want to produce a prefabricate. You want to prefabricate components. So it can be a precast concrete. You can use timber structure. You can use steel structure or any components from any materials. So it will be assembled in a factory, and then it will be transported to the construction site, and then it will be installed and assembled at the site. On the other hand, precast concrete is a construction product produced by casting concrete. So specifically for precast concrete, you are using concrete. So you are using concrete, you are forming concrete in a reusable mold or form, which is formwork, which is then being cured in a controlled environment, and also then will be transported to the construction site, lifted and set into a place. So that is the differences between prefabrications and precast concrete system. So for precast concrete system, the system is using concrete, and for prefabrications, you can manufacture or produce whatever components using different materials. So you also can consider precast concrete is the subset of prefabrications. Thank you, Mr. Sonny.
Okay, it's very clear about your answer. Okay, and then to Mr. Yosef. Mr. Yosef, you can do.
Okay, yes.
Okay, there is question from Mr. from Umar Hassan. The question is, what's implementation sustainable material to industrial in Indonesia? Okay.
Okay. Okay, thank you, Mr. Sonny. Thank you. Implementation to sustainable material, ya. To sustainable material. Example is tires. Tires that have started to wear out can be used to route asphalt material. Tire in PT Konblok Infratechno. Next maybe fiberglass from use car glass with glass fiber in PT Fokus Citra. It use fiberglass raw material from glass fiber. And then wall material from use paper. Wall material for use paper. Soap powder was to mix batako material, batako or paving block, paving block. Coconut shell was the mixture is of paving block, and biogas from palm oil mill fuel, sawit, or sawit sumber mas, for biogas. Okay, maybe that's Mr. Sony. Road asphalt, no, from plastic was mixture, and etc.
Okay, it's clearly,
Yeah.
Mr.
Yeah.
Yosef.
Okay.
And then in the last question to Mr. Ridwan and Miss Lily, from Mita, institution from University Riau University, and the question is, what is the most difficult achieve from 17 Sustainable Development in Malaysia? Maybe to Miss Lily, the most difficult achieve from 17 Sustainable Development in Indonesia. Yeah. It's clearly, Mr. Ridwan?
Okay. So what is the most difficulty
Yeah, right.
when we are facing pandemics, the COVID-19 for construction?
Okay. Yeah.
Okay. So so obviously when to complete a construction activities, so we will involve numbers of laborers. So in Malaysia, we are depending to the foreign workers. So normally they will stay in the same house. I mean, like they do have they are staying in a very small places, and it's very hard to have this or to practice this physical distancing. So in order to overcome the situations now, so in the construction industry, so it's very important for us to use new technology. Actually, there is one technology that maybe I can share with you. Can you see my screen now?
Okay. Yeah.
Okay. So this is a bit like the questions that have been highlighted by the respondent by the participants, right? So this is the technology that can be adopted. So instead of you go to the construction site to inspect the progress at the project, so you can use camera, right? So from here you can go to this site. So as you can see, it's a 3D model. So the live view at the construction site, and you can move from one level, from one place to another in order to inspect. For example, this is the area, so next to the window, what is the progress? As you can see, the ceiling is already installed. So the light bulb is not installed yet. Then you can move and go to the other place. Okay, to view the progress. So in here it's still empty, so this one is for the toilet and so on. So I can say that in order to overcome the pandemic situations, now we need to use technology. We need to limit the number of workers that executing work at the construction site. So hopefully I answered the questions. Thank you, Bapak Sony. All right.
Okay. Thank you, Mr. Redjan News, and there is Agrarian Technology in Malaysia. And how about Miss Lily?
Yeah, I try to answer the question. It is a very good question. So what is the most obstacles here?
Yes, yes.
The most obstacles to face the COVID-19 pandemic in Indonesia. Maybe I take the sample in Bali, for example. So I think refers to my experience and my opinion. I think it is about the human behavior. Human behavior. So we all knew that our government, Indonesian government, Mr. President Jokowi, and his team already working hard to build regulation, to do the action plan to avoid or to minimize the spread of COVID-19. But seems that our society, so human behavior, still in the post office, many of people ignore about this program. Let's say in every department, every office already tried to apply the regulation related to the COVID-19, but sometimes the people ignore it, make it everything easy. It is very, very difficult just to make them using face mask. Sometimes I don't know, it is by on purpose or maybe by unpurpose. And also it is about the feeling. It is not good if we talk to others still wearing the mask and so on. So I think the main obstacles is human behavior, according to my opinion. Not, let's say, and also it is about the development of technology, especially in Industry 4.0. Actually, I've already presented that some obstacles about the technology development, especially in Industry 4.0, it is the readiness of human resources, the readiness. Well, actually, the positive, if we think positively, so this pandemic, it is accelerate the implementation of Industry 4.0. But because of the readiness of human resources here, it seems that it's very, very difficult to do like this virtual conference. Many of us still think that it is more comfort if we do it offline. I think that's the main obstacles here in Bali. But of course, not all the people think like that. So like in Bali, there are what we call it Banjar system. So in Bali, one village consists of some Banjar. Banjar means local community, yeah, divided into some Banjar with the member is society in a smaller group. And firstly, in the beginning of this pandemic, I think it's very effective to make the people disciplined in following the rule of the protocol of COVID-19. But again, we face the culture, let's say like the ceremony for wedding, and then another traditional ceremony, which make everyone can avoid to attend the ceremony, because if we don't attend this ceremony, it will create a guilty feeling. That's why it's community prefer to attend, means it broke the rule of the protocol of COVID-19. So I think one of the basic obstacle that make COVID-19 in Indonesia getting increase and increase, not like in Malaysia. In the beginning of the Mr. Ridwan presentation, in Malaysia getting decrease, but in Indonesia, honestly, it's getting increase and increase. And I think the main obstacle is human behavior, that not what we call it, not sadar.
Aware.
I lost the word.
Awareness.
Not realize, yeah, not realize that COVID-19 is very, very dangerous for us and for people around us. I think that's it from my point of view. Thank you.
Okay, thank you very much, Prof. Lily. And then there is Mr. Nizam again.
Yes.
Nizam? Oh,
yeah.
Okay, there is a question to you from Miss Lolly. How to apply this prophet in your country related with sustainable development, think globally of locally?
Sorry again, how to apply what?
How to apply this prophet in your country, Malaysia, related with sustainable development, thinking globally locally.
Okay. Okay. Thank you to the questions. Well, for asking a very interesting questions. To what I understand, how to apply sustainable globally and locally. Am I right?
Yeah.
Right, okay. Right, yeah. From the perspective of users and from the perspective of manufacturers, first I would like to bring from the perspective of users, how we are going to apply globally and locally. Okay, I share with just now about 6R, yeah? 6R, which is reuse, recycle, reduce, repair, and so on. So we can start as a users, as a personally, how we go for that. As we first, of course, we have to aware. We have to get the awareness on this and to support. In terms of first reduce, okay, we are thinking of, maybe we can thinking about in a way, for example, we have a good technology now. We have a Panda, we have online system, right? We have a very good online system. That's so-called a very good technology in helping people buying online. But in return, what is the impact when we do buying online? There are a lot of boxes. Okay, there are a lot of yang kertas, plastic wrap, all the parts that we bought. Yeah, actually, we are consuming more boxes, more plastic. Actually, with the new technology, actually we are having adverse environment impact, because to wrap with boxes with kertas apa semua, all that plastic, actually we are using more. Okay, but if personally we are thinking in a way that, okay, rather than using online, although we know that using online buying is more comfortable, convenient, and so on. We go direct to the shop, yeah, with less plastic bag, for example. And then when we buy the bottle, we reuse the bottle, okay, and we apply recycling. Recycling means maybe in terms of plastic or paper, scan, and then we practice in a way rethink, okay, try to refuse something that against or give harm to the environment. Yes, we know that buying online is convenience, although sometimes it's cheaper, but in at the backside, it consumes more plastic boxes and transportation in a way that it's not sustainable. Uh, that's from users' point of view. We look at global, mungkin local. We buying product locally, but in globally maybe we cannot avoid. We have to order from overseas, from abroad. But from a manufacturing point of view, it's good also to apply these six R. For example, number of transportations, number of loading. Okay, full load of transportation, half load of transportation, one way of transportation, and warehousing, and so on. That's also help the manufacturer with the using six art with less raw material, recycle, remanufacturing, that help manufacturer. But how to practice locally and globally, they have to make it check and balance, profit and cost benefit, cost effect benefit balance. If there is no choice, they have to order from overseas. Yes, they have to do. If they have to make it locally, yeah, with the raw material locally is more cheaper, then they can choose for that. I think it's how to practice globally and internationally or locally. We company or users should make it cross check, cost benefit effect checking for either is going to good to the government or good to yourself. They have to answer by their, with the good informations. Am I answering the questions?
Okay. It's clearly about your explanation, Mr. Nizam.
Yeah.
Okay. Ladies and gentlemen, we finally come to the end of in the part of this seminar. On behalf of Kadiri University, we hope this webinar will bring us closer together. I'd like to thank you so much to the honorable speaker for informative and interesting presentation, and to all the participants for your active participation. Please give applause for the speaker and for you all. Thank you very much. And before we close this seminar, I would like to invite all the participants of today's seminar to take picture together with honorable speaker and the seminar team. Please turn on all of your camera. I will count up to 3 and please give your best smile to the camera. Ready? Ready, Mr. Ridwan, Mr. Joseph, Prof. Lily, and Mr. Nizam? Okay. 1, 2, 3. Once more. 1, 2, 3. Okay. Thank you very much. And I am team for the international webinar today. Apologize if there is mistake. Hopefully this seminar will be beneficial for everybody. Amin. Hope to see you again in another seminar held by Kadiri University. Stay healthy and happy. Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Thank you.
Waalaikumsalam.
Thank you, Mr. Ridwan,
Bye.
Mr. Joseph, Prof. Lili.
Thank you, Pak
I'm very
Sony.
thank you,
Mr. Nizam, Mr.
Mr.
Ridwan.
Nizam.
Yeah.
Thank you, thank you.
I do hope that you can visit our institution and I can visit yours. Yeah.
Thank you very much.
Yes.
Thank
Okay,
you for
thank you.
today.
Yes.
Okay, thank you very much.
Bye.
See you later.
See you later.
See you later.
Kadiri University is a private university located in Kediri, East Java, Indonesia. It is located in the west of Kediri, near with Selamanglang Cave and Airlangga Museum. The location is also near with Maskumambang Hills, makes the Kadiri University be a comfortable place for studying and learning. Kadiri University has big contribution of Kediri development. It's said by Sudanjo Supriyadi Wali Songo Kediri Foundation since 1980. Kadiri University has passed many bachelor to fulfill the society needs in Kediri especially and in Indonesia commonly. The graduates of Kadiri University have gotten a job in many cities and countries all over the world. Creating the combatant, superior, characterless to be able to combat internationally in 2026 is the vision of Kadiri University. It is also supported by all faculties in Kadiri University. Kadiri University has academic, profession, and vocational education, namely Law Faculty, Social and Politics Faculty, Agriculture Faculty, Economics Faculty, Engineering Faculty, Health Science Faculty. Using student-centered learning, Kadiri University is supported by the good quality of lecturer to get a good cognitive, effective, and psychomotoric graduation to be able to compete in globalization era. Kadiri University has academic and non-academic facilities such as library, computer center, language center, ASEAN Studies Center, sports stadium, investment gallery, mini hospital, and job placement centers to make the student easier to get the job.
Mari bergabung bersama kami di Universitas Kadiri.
Kediri University is a private university located in Kediri, East Java, Indonesia. It is located in the west of Kediri, near with Selamanglang Cave and Airlangga Museum. The location is also near with Maskumambang Hills, makes the Kediri University be a comfortable place for studying and learning. Kediri University has big contribution of Kediri development. It's said by Sudanjo Supriyadi Wali Songo Kediri Foundation since 1980. Kediri University has passed many bachelor to fulfill the society needs in Kediri especially and in Indonesia commonly. The graduates of Kediri University have gotten a job in many cities and countries all over the world. Creating the combatant, superior, characterless to be able to combat internationally in 2026 is the vision of Kediri University. It is also supported by all faculties in Kediri University. Kediri University has academic, profession, and vocational education, namely Law Faculty, Social and Politics Faculty, Agriculture Faculty, Economics Faculty, Engineering Faculty, Health Science Faculty. Using student-centered learning, Kediri University is supported by the good quality of lecturer to get the good cognitive, effective, and psychomotoric graduation to be able to compete in globalization era. Kediri University has academic and non-academic facilities such as library, computer center, language center, ASEAN Studies Center, sports stadium, station gallery, mini hospital, and job placement center to make the student easier to get the job.
Mari bergabung bersama kami di Universitas Kediri.
Kediri University is a private university located in Kediri, East Java, Indonesia. It is located in the west of Kediri, near with Selamanglang Cave and Airlangga Museum. The location is also near with Maskumambang Hills, makes the Kediri University be a comfortable place for studying and learning. Kediri University has big contribution of Kediri development. It's said by Sudanjo Supriyadi Wali Songo Kediri Foundation since 1980. Kediri University has passed many bachelor to fulfill the society needs in Kediri especially and in Indonesia commonly. The graduates of Kediri University have gotten a job in many cities and countries all over the world. Creating the combatant, superior, characterless to be able to compete internationally in 2026 is the vision of Kediri University. It is also supported by all faculties in Kadiri University. Kadiri University has academic, profession, and vocational education, namely Law Faculty, Social and Politics Faculty, Agriculture Faculty, Economics Faculty, Engineering Faculty, Health Science Faculty. Using student-centered learning, Kadiri University is supported by the good quality of lecturer to get a good cognitive, effective, and psychomotoric graduation to be able to compete in globalization era. Kadiri University has academic and non-academic facilities such as library, computer center, language center, ASEAN Studies Center, sports stadium, investigation gallery, mini hospital, and job placement center to make the student easier to get the job.
Mari bergabung bersama kami di Universitas Kadiri.
Kadiri University is a private university located in Kediri, East Java, Indonesia. It is located in the west of Kediri, near with Selamanglang Cave and Air Langga Museum. The location is also near with Maskumambang Hills, makes the Kadiri University be a comfortable place for studying and learning. Kadiri University has big contribution of Kediri development. It's said by Sudanjo Supriyadi Wali Songo Kediri Foundation since 1980. Kadiri University has passed many bachelor to fulfill the society needs in Kediri especially and in Indonesia commonly. The graduates of Kadiri University have gotten a job in many cities and countries all over the world. Creating the combatant, superior, characterless to be able to compete internationally in 2026 is the vision of Kadiri University. It is also supported by all faculties in Kadiri University. Kadiri University has academic, profession, and vocational education, namely Law Faculty, Social and Politics Faculty, Agriculture Faculty, Economics Faculty, Engineering Faculty, Health Science Faculty. using student-centered learning, Kadiri University supported by the good quality of lecturer to get a good cognitive, effective, and psychomotoric graduation to be able to compete in globalization era. Kadiri University has academic and non-academic facilities such as library, computer center, language center, ASEAN Studies Center, sports stadium, investigation gallery, mini hospital, and job placement center to make the student easier to get the job.
Mari bergabung bersama kami di Universitas Kadiri.
Kadiri University is a private university located in Kediri, East Java, Indonesia. It is located in the west of Kediri, near with Selamanglang Cave and Airlangga Museum. The location is also near with Maskumambang Hills, makes the Kadiri University be a comfortable place for studying and learning. Kadiri University has big contribution of Kediri development. It's said by Sudanjo Supriyadi Wali Songo Kediri Foundation since 1980. Kadiri University has passed many bachelor to fulfill the society needs in Kediri especially and in Indonesia commonly. The graduates of Kadiri University have got a job in many cities and countries all over the world. Creating the combatant, superior, characterless to be able to compete internationally in 2026 is the vision of Kadiri University. It is also supported by all faculties in Kadiri University. Kadiri University has academic, profession, and vocational education, namely Law Faculty, Social and Politics Faculty, Agriculture Faculty, Economics Faculty, Engineering Faculty, Science Faculty. By using student-centered learning, Kadiri University supported by the good quality of lecturer to get a good cognitive, effective, and psychomotoric graduation to be able to compete in globalization era. Kadiri University has academic and non-academic facilities such as library, computer center, language center, ASEAN Studies Center, sports stadium, investigation gallery, mini hospital, and job placement center to make the student easier to get the job.
Mari bergabung bersama kami di Universitas Kadiri.
Kadiri University is a private university located in Kediri, East Java, Indonesia. It is located in the west of Kediri, near with Selamanglang Cave and Airlangga Museum. The location is also near with Mas Kumambang Hills, makes the Kadiri University be a comfortable place for studying and learning. Kadiri University has big contribution of Kediri development. It's said by Sudanjo Supriyadi Wali Songo Kediri Foundation since 1980. Kadiri University has passed many bachelor to fulfill the society needs in Kediri especially and in Indonesia commonly. The graduates of Kadiri University have gotten a job in many cities and countries all over the world. Creating the competent, superior, characterless to be able to compete internationally in 2026 is the vision of Kadiri University. It is also supported by all faculties in Kadiri University. Kadiri University has academic, profession, and vocational education, namely Law Faculty, Social and Politics Faculty, Agriculture Faculty, Economics Faculty, Engineering Faculty, Health Science Faculty. Using student-centered learning, Kadiri University is supported by the good quality of lecturer to get the good cognitive, effective, and psychomotoric graduation to be able to compete in globalization era. Kadiri University has academic and non-academic facilities such as library, computer center, language center, ASEAN Studies Center, sports stadium, infestation gallery, mini hospital, and job placement center to make the student easier to get the job.
Mari bergabung bersama kami di Universitas Kadiri.
Kadiri University is a private university located in Kediri, East Java, Indonesia. It is located in the west of Kediri, near with Selamanglang Cave and Airlangga Museum. The location is also near with Mas Kumambang Hills, makes the Kadiri University be a comfortable place for studying and learning. Kadiri University has big contribution of Kediri development. It's said by Sudanjo Supriyadi Wali Songo Kediri Foundation since 1980. Kadiri University has passed many bachelor to fulfill the society needs in Kediri especially and in Indonesia commonly. The graduates of Kadiri University have gotten a job in many cities and countries all over the world. Creating the competent, superior, characterless to be able to compete internationally in 2026 is the vision of Kadiri University. It is also supported by all faculties in Kadiri University. Kadiri University has academic, profession, and vocational education